There was no room for God. It was a warm Friday afternoon in a small Texas town. The cicadas hummed outside, and the golden light of sunset stretched across the kitchen walls. Maria stood by the sink, drying her hands on a towel, watching her 17-year-old son Daniel rush through the door. He smelled faintly of gasoline and aftershave, that sharp, careless scent of youth. His laughter filled the room as his friends honked from the driveway. They were heading to a late-night party somewhere out by the old river road. Maria smiled, though her heart felt uneasy. She had felt it all day, a strange heaviness, a mother's intuition that something wasn't right. "Danny," she called softly, her voice trembling just a little. "Please, go with God, okay?" He turned around, rolling his eyes with that familiar grin. "Mom?" he chuckled, jingling his car keys. "There's no room for God in this car." "It's already full," his friends laughed. The sound echoed through the house like something breaking. Maria's smile faded. She stood frozen as Daniel walked out the door, his sneakers squeaking across the tile. The screen door slammed shut. Outside, the old engine roared to life, and the car sped down the street, disappearing into the purple dusk. That night, the house was too quiet. Maria sat by the window, praying. Her rosary beads slipped between her fingers, one after another, like seconds falling into eternity. Midnight passed. Then one, then two. She tried to call Daniel, but his phone went straight to voicemail. Then came the knock. 3 slow knocks, heavy, final. When she opened the door, 2 police officers stood under the porch light. Their faces said everything before their words could. One held his hat against his chest. The other spoke softly, "Ma'am." There was an accident. The world around her blurred. The walls dissolved. The sound of the clock vanished. Maria's knees buckled, but she didn't cry, not yet. Not until she saw him. The crash had happened only a few miles from home. The car was unrecognizable, a twisted mess of metal and glass. They said it hit a tree head-on after swerving to avoid a deer. None of the 4 boys survived. But there was something else, something the officer hesitated to mention until later. When firefighters cleared the wreck, they found the car's trunk torn open. Inside, untouched by the flames that had devoured everything else, was a small Bible. Maria recognized it instantly. It was hers. She had placed it in Daniel's backpack weeks earlier, a quiet gesture he never noticed. Or maybe he had and just didn't care. The Bible's cover was scorched at the edges, but inside, one page remained perfectly clean. The page was open to Psalm 91. "He will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways." Maria sank to her knees when she saw it. Her tears fell on the page, smudging the ink like rain. Days passed in a blur of funerals, flowers, and hollow condolences. People spoke of Daniel's smile, his laughter, his bright future. But Maria's heart carried only the echo of his last words. "There's no room for God." They haunted her dreams. Until one night, when the silence broke, it was 3 a.m. A soft wind moved through her bedroom, though the windows were closed. The air grew still, heavy with presence. And in that moment, Maria heard it, not with her ears, but deep within her soul, her son's voice whispering, "Mom." There is room now. A warmth filled the room, not from this world, a peace that felt like sunlight from heaven itself. Maria clutched her chest, her tears turning from grief to awe. She knew without doubt that her son had found mercy, that even in death, God had reached into the wreckage to claim what was his. Years later, Maria would tell this story in churches and youth groups. Her voice never rose in anger. It trembled with love. "Don't wait until there's no room left," she would say. "Make room for God now, in your heart, in your car, in your plans, in everything. Because he doesn't need space, he needs surrender." People wept, not just because of the tragedy, but because they could see themselves in Daniel's words. Too busy, too confident, too distracted to make room for the one who gives life itself. Maria never stopped missing her son, but she no longer lived in sorrow. Every sunrise that touched her window felt like a whisper of grace, a reminder that heaven had turned her heartbreak into testimony, and she would whisper, every morning before stepping out into the world, "Go with God." If this story moved you, subscribe to Eternal Echoes for more true encounters that touch the soul.